Are you sick of yo-yo dieting? Have you lost weight before, but then 2 to 3 months later put it all back on? Are you tired of stress eating?
Mom! Mom! Mom!
Well, today I'm gonna give you the tools to take the weight off and keep it off for good. To lose weight, you need to consume less and move more. So what does this look like? Well, if you want to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, then you would need to cut your calories down by about 500 to 1,000 calories a day. And there's a few different ways that you can do this. One would be to burn 500 calories. Another would be to consume 500 calories less, or you could do a combination, say burn 250 calories and consume 250 calories less. But let me give you some perspective here. If you were to run a mile, that would be 100 calories that you're burning. If you were to eat a piece of pizza, that would be 250 calories that you're eating. So if you are used to, say, eating 4 slices of pizza, if you only ate 2 slices of pizza, you would cut out 500 calories versus running 5 miles to burn off 500 calories. If you just focus on exercise, it's going to be very difficult to burn 500 to 1,000 calories more than you're consuming. It's best to pay attention to what you're eating and think about ways that you can maybe substitute some of these high calorie foods. I'm not saying don't eat the pizza. You certainly don't want to deprive yourself, but what you could do is maybe consume some foods that are lower in calories and try to fill yourself up, say with a salad, so maybe you're eating only 1 or 2 slices of pizza instead of 4. Planning is essential when it comes to managing your weight or losing your weight. If you don't plan, then the likelihood of you having to grab something fast or go out to eat is going to be much higher. And when you eat out, you're actually consuming 200 or more calories than if you were to eat that meal at home. So trying to eat your meals at home as often as you can is going to be a big help. When it comes to planning, my husband and I usually sit down on a Friday night. We have pretty complex schedules that are always changing, so we have to determine who is going to cook dinner on which night. I usually make the meal plan for the week, and then I will create the grocery list. I'll go shopping on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, and then I usually do my meal prepping on a Sunday. I try to meal prep as much as possible because as you go throughout your week, you're making so many decisions each day that adding food or your meals as one more decision just contributes to decision fatigue, and thinking about food is just one less decision that I want to make. So I spend time on Sunday usually preparing lunches that will last about 3 days. And this could be maybe some what I call Buddha bowls, where I have some protein and some salads or leafy greens and some grains. And I also like to make soups because soups are just a one pot, easy combination, and I can make a large batch of it, which will last us a few days. Sometimes I like to meal prep my breakfast so that way I don't need to worry about cooking in the morning. So I might make some overnight oatmeal, or maybe I'll make just like a big batch of beans that we can eat every morning with some salsa and our eggs. Meal prepping is a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time, so that's why I try to make it easy for myself. Like on a Sunday, if I'm meal prepping all my lunches or breakfast for the week, then I might pop a pizza in the oven. Just anything to make it a little bit easier for me. Though it may seem a little overwhelming at first, it's best to just start out small. So instead of trying to meal prep, say, like all your dinners for the week or 2 meals a week, maybe just start with something small like snacks, preparing your snacks for the week, or just start with breakfast, or even meal planning just 3 days in advance. Just think about one way that you can start small. What seems reasonable for you to do this week? And see if you could do it consistently. And when you do that consistently, then add maybe another item. And over time, you're gonna build on your meal prepping skills. You'll get better at it. You will feel less overwhelmed, and you'll get in a nice little rhythm. You can consume less calories by monitoring your portions, and using your hand is a good way to do that. For instance, you can cup your hand for fruit and seeds and nuts. For proteins, you would use the flat palm of your hand. For carbohydrates that include starches and potatoes, those carbohydrates that are a little higher in calories, you would use your fist for that portion size. Then for leafy greens and vegetables, it's 2 fists, although I say just go ahead and load up your plate because you really can't go wrong with a lot of fruits and vegetables and leafy greens. And for fats and oils, you want to use your thumb. So really try to be mindful of small portions when it comes to fats. When it comes to snacking, being mindful about your serving size really helps. When you eat from like a bag of chips, for instance, I bet you can't say how many chips that you actually ate, because typically when we eat foods like this, we're really not mindfully eating. We're doing what is called fog eating. So we're kind of spacing out as we're eating, and the next thing you know, the whole bag of chips is empty. So if you can look at the serving size on the back of your packaged foods and portion out that serving size prior to eating, then it's a lot easier to stay within that calorie range that you're trying to stay in. Be mindful of your hunger cues. Our body naturally just tells us when we're hungry and when we're full. But it takes about 20 minutes for our brain to send that message to our stomach that we've had enough food. So slowing down while you eat really does help. A couple ways to do that is, if you're eating alone, to eat more mindfully. Really pay attention to your food. Look at it. Bring it to your lips, feel the texture, smell the food, and really truly taste it when you're eating, and slow down. This will help you know that you're hungry before you've had too much. Also, eating food with friends and family kind of helps to slow things down. To consume less calories, we have to manage our stress, just to avoid stress eating. So when we get stressed, that triggers the amygdala in our brain, and this is our little fight or flight center. And when this happens, we're really not making logical choices. We're just kind of like acting. Normally, if we sensed a real threat, the amygdala would fire, so that way we can run or fight. And in this case, we're running for the pantry and we're trying to calm our nerves with food. So if you can add a pause between you and that food, then what we can do is try to get the amygdala to calm down and get to what is known as the frontal lobe of the brain. This is like the calm area where we're making, well, they call it executive function. So this is where we're making good logical decisions. And how we do that is, like I said before, a pause. So what does that pause look like for you? It could be anything. Maybe you stop and eat a piece of fruit before you go for the bag of chips. Maybe it means just trying to calm down your nervous system by taking some slow, deep breaths. Just taking a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out of the mouth. Once you've calmed your body down, you've taken that pause, and you decide that in fact you want to have the chips anyway, that's okay. At least you made a choice. And if you do stress eat, let it go. Give yourself some grace. I was eating clean all day, and then a group of Girl Scouts show up at my house, and of course, you know, I want to be nice and buy a few boxes of cookies. And gosh, those Thin Mints, when you put them in the freezer, they just taste so good. So I decided to have one, and then it was like, okay, well, maybe another. And you know, but I don't feel bad about it because I just start at the next meal, okay? Eat something that feels good to your body and then move on. It's better to get your calories from food instead of beverages. Let's take a look at some of the most common beverages that people drink on a regular basis. Starting with coffee. Now, our favorite coffee shop sells like all those lattes, frappuccinos, macchiatos. All of those drinks are gonna start with at least 200 calories. So it's better to start with just black coffee, or maybe coffee with a little bit of cream and sugar. We've got alcoholic beverages. An 8-ounce glass of wine is 200 calories. A 16-ounce pour of a craft style beer, we're looking at least 200 calories. And soda. Soda is gonna be about 200 calories, or 150 to 200 calories for 12 ounces of soda. So if you're drinking a couple sodas a day or having a couple glasses of wine or beer a day, then that's around 500 calories that you could be cutting out. And it's a lot easier to cut out liquid calories than it is to cut out food calories. When it comes to snacks, think about substituting some healthier snacks. There are plenty of snacks that you can eat that will leave you feeling fuller longer. I typically make a smoothie every morning at 10 o'clock. This is just a way for me to get my extra serving of fruits and vegetables for the day. I really like to pack it with as much leafy greens as I can, add some seeds and a little bit of fruit and water. And it's just a really great energizing smoothie, and it gives me the focus that I need for the day. When it comes to eating out, there is a few strategies that you can take to limit your calorie consumption. One is to share an entree with a friend. In fact, most restaurants, when you say that you're gonna split an entree, they oftentimes will do it for you in the kitchen. And I find a lot of the times that it doesn't look that much different than if I had ordered the regular entree. It's still a pretty good sized portion. Another thing you can do is get a doggy bag to go. And you can do that at the end, but you can also do it at the beginning as soon as they bring your plate out. Another thing that you can do is substitute your sides. So say you want to have a hamburger. Instead of having a hamburger and fries, maybe you have a hamburger and a salad. So ask yourself the question, what are some other creative ways that I can cut back the calories that I'm eating but still enjoy myself when I go out to eat? If this information was helpful for you, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you can receive notifications anytime that I put out new content. And I just want to leave you with one more thought for today. The next time that you want to eat something that you really love, whether it's ice cream or hamburgers, anything you want to indulge on, just remove all distractions and try to be present with your food. Really savor it and smell the aroma. It's when you're present with your food that you're being mindful, you're being intentional about what you're eating. And the more intentional you are when you make your food choices, then you're going to be making them for the right reasons. You'll be making those choices out of pleasure. You might be making it to nourish yourself, but at least you're in charge and you're the one that's making these choices. So take care. I'll see you at the next video and be well.